Well, hi there. My name's David, and I'm the guy that's working on the yoga dog blog, or whatever I want to call it. It was started out as a yoga BB for yoga bulletin board, and it will evolve into that as well. And I decided I've gone through various ideas about what I should use, and then since WordPress is all over the place, I did like CMS made simple. That's content management made simple. I really like that because it makes straightforward. At least for me, I thought it was. If I was just going to have a regular website, I would go for that. And they have some blogging components too. It's just that WordPress is just sort of taking over. So that's the way it goes. I don't really appreciate WordPress's way to make themes and that kind of stuff, including a bunch of code and PHP code and everything. I know PHP code, but I like to keep it sort of separate. But anyway, here we are. So my interest, well, survival like everyone else, is trying to get by day to day and have a good time, be happy, not hurt anything, hurt anyone. But beyond that, it's like dogs. I ended up with 2 dogs, and for me, they've always been more like little magicians. One is over here with me right now, down there. Where's my girl? Yes, oh, there we go. I'm having trouble focusing this thing here. There we go. There's my girl. Lakshmi? Lakshmi. Hi there. Hi there. That's my girl. That's Lakshmi. She is a little over 3 years old, and she's a lab shepherd mixed. And then I have another dog. It'll be around here someplace. She'll show up here in a minute. Have me scratch her on the butt. That's okay. That's okay. We'll have some more about you later, dear. And they're pretty much my constant companions. I do have to go off and occasionally work. Like everybody else, you got to go out and do something. But unfortunately, I have a nice place where I can leave them. But when it's cool enough, I'll just take them with me, and they all hang out. A lot of times in the car, but I leave the windows wide open, and so they know where I am. But I feel better when I can just leave them in the yard here, though. So I spend a lot of time playing with the dogs. I walk the dogs. Well, like this morning, it was a couple of hours with my friend. I walk with a friend, and we walk. Sometimes we have 6 or 7 dogs we're walking, and all of them are ours except for some guest dogs that show up occasionally. That we just walk as well. So, and then when we can, we like to go down to beaches and play with the dogs. That seems to be a pleasure that we have occasionally. But since we actually reside in in Venice, actually pretty much the heart of Venice, if it has a heart, kidney, I don't know, ankle. Here we are. We're the ankle part of Venice because we walk around a lot. And but we can't go on the beach. Nope. Ellie is really not very friendly about dogs on the beach. Except for certain times of the year we can sort of get down there. But right now they are like hawks, waiting to pick your whatever little money you have right out of your wallet and plop it into the coffers. So that's a little bit about me and the dogs and our sort of interest here. Oh yeah, and of course I'm interested in the fact that we live in a really strange time, and I'll be commenting on what I think is strange about the times we live in. And as I was doing this, I was thinking about the big one of the most famous quotes for me that I've remembered in the 20th century. I guess it had to be in the 20th century because we're in the 21st century now. Was from Rodney King when he just said, "Can't we get along?" Or "Can't we all get along?" or something like that. And I am exactly of that mind, called the Rodney King mind. Why can't we get along, guys? So I will be talking about my opinion about why we can't get along and ways to get along. Now, one of the interesting things though about dogs I always say one of my aphorisms is it's hard to be invisible if you're with dogs and children. People notice you and talk to you. They like dogs if your dogs are friendly. And my dogs are exceedingly friendly, and so people talk to me a lot, and that's a major part of my life. When I had children, people would talk to me then. I'm a bit of a talker in a way. Depends. Like all of us, we all like to yak it up, and I consider dogs to be very important in socializing us. Yes, they're a real skill for many dogs is the fact that they are such completely social animals. Means the happiest dogs are the ones that indeed have learned to get along and don't. Yes, indeed. But the getting along does not necessarily mean that you're living right, though. That's true. I think one of the aphorisms I saw may have been attributed to Krishnamurti. It was like getting along in a society that's basically sick is not necessarily a good thing. That's not an exact quote, but something like that. Basically, just because you're able to get along, and if your society is a little crazy, that doesn't necessarily mean you're in tune with the cosmic dance as much as you could be. So, but the proof of the pudding, though, is how happy people are and how much misery or happiness is in the culture. And we have a culture with abundant hidden misery because we like to take our miseries and sort of get them out of the way. Prisons, hospitals, things like that. But it leaks through. A lot of it leaks through in Venice, and down near the beach you get to see a lot of people in different states of whatever development. And it's probably, of course, living in Los Angeles at all. I mean, you're just the whole waxy ball, the whole sticky ball here. Oh boy, yeah. Everybody wants to live in LA, and I can sort of see why. Although I came from the northern climes. My general track has been from Seattle to Portland, San Francisco, Louisville, Kentucky, and then now Los Angeles and Venice. That's basically my path. Here I am. So, mainly a West Coast guy, for the most part. I love the West Coast. I feel very, very at home in the West Coast in many ways. I have a particular fondness for Oregon, and but at the same time, we are somewhat a burden on the planet, though. Humans, yes. There's a lot of us here, aren't there? Boy. And it doesn't take much to disrupt our lives. And the weirdest things can happen to really just ruin your day, like Japan and its tsunami wave. It's still, the echoes are still happening for that. And we have had tsunami waves, economic tsunami waves too, right? Economic tsunami waves, oh boy. So, and we're having social tsunami waves in the sense of, for example, the Arab Spring. And then, of course, the American proclivity for armed intervention in places where they basically don't belong, but somehow or another power has convinced itself that it needs to go there. That's interesting, very interesting. One of the things I'd like to emphasize is you could almost see, the leveling effect of to keep us from being at each other's throats, to stop thinking that just because you have a different amount of money, or you speak a different language, or have a different color of skin, or you have a different religion, that makes you any better or any different from anyone else. Whether you like it or not, and I think a lot of people don't like it, we're all pretty much the same. We're all pretty much the same, and we're all of equal value. If you believe in God, or a God, or whatever, even though I'm not a big God fan, if there is a God, I believe that God inhabits everything equally. So human beings at the basics, because we are human, so we need to learn to find ways to treat each other perfectly. The golden rule. It's called the golden rule. And I don't like to be abused, so and that means I shouldn't abuse anyone else. So it's real simple. But I don't know why the simple things are not a little easier. Simple and easy is not always the same. Even for those of us who really, really want to be that way, doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you get a little, less less mellow than we should be. Less California mellow, yes. So that's a little bit about me. There'll be more. And my dogs. So this eventually this video I'll upload, and we'll see what happens. See how idiotic it looks. Okay.